Hi guys, and welcome back to the Player YouTube channel. And today we're going to be taking a look around a fantastic new car from Toyota. I say new, it's in its 8th generation. This is the Toyota Rav 4, and we're going to get under the bonnet, get it out on the road, get in the back and up front and let you know whether this car is worth £30,000. What do you get for your money? Well, straight away you get a nice set of LED headlights. You get a sort of fog lighty thing here, and you get this new look that I really like. I like the way this bonnet is set up and apart away from the grille as well. It's really nice styling. You get standard 17-inch alloys with this car, and around these arches, these plastic big bolt-on things here. And I like the way it looks quite chunky, it's quite high. It looks very different from the old Rav 4, the predecessor to this one. You get standard privacy glass, and you get these nice plastic skirts that run along the bottom here. The whole thing really does start to look very smart. It's urban, but there again, it's very off-roady. Let's check around the back and see why it goes there. Round at the back, it's pretty good looking, and one good thing about this car is with each one of these exhaust tailpipes, they are real, they're not plastic, they actually work, which makes the change. Up the top here you get this massive great sort of diffuser spoiler bit at the back. You get a big stop light in there, which is very good, and a reasonably sized windscreen at the back, or rear screen, whatever you want to call it. It's got a wash and wipe and these nice LED shaped lights at the back. All in all, there's a lot of plastic, but I think it's a good looking car from behind. Let's check out inside how big it is. So it is electronically assisted like that, or you can use the key as well. I'll just use that. Now this boot is humongous. Look at the size of this, absolutely huge. It's second only to the Skoda Kodiaq, but apart from that I think this is lovely because you've got the width in here. The dreaded parcel shelf, we'll talk about that in a second. Before we do that, check this out, a full-size spare wheel and a jack, all nicely put inside there. And what you also get, if you look the underneath of this is so if you've got a wet dog or something damp and you don't want to ruin the lovely carpet bit, you can actually turn this over like that and put it in the other way round. Well, finally, look at that, how cool is that? But it goes even more cool than that, because if you lift that up, let's take this out the way for a minute, I'll show you. We'll put it back where it was. So now we've gone back to our nice carpety bit. There you go. I feel like I'm on a cook show or something. What are you going to do with that parcel shelf? You know I always moan about this. Well, check this out. Look, if you pick that out there, and you pick that one out there, and then you just pop that out there. How easy is this? This is pure genius. Whoever designed this, look, goes there, and that one goes back in there. Then you pop that back over the top here. What can I say? 600 litres of boot space, a parcel shelf that disappears, a full-size spare wheel. However, I was looking, there it is, 12-volt adapter as well, and there's nowhere to hang your shopping. Damn, I was hoping I was going to have a couple of little shopping hooks. Apart from that, this is absolutely amazing. Well done, Toyota. Ticked every box in the back here. Right, before I jump in, just take a look at how wide getting in and out of this car is. It's so good, you can almost, well, it's just so nice and easy. And these lovely, great big windows here, it all sort of helps when you come to being a passenger in the back of a Rav 4. Now, not only is it easy to get in and out of, but it is very, very comfortable indeed. And you've got loads of headroom in here. Fantastic. Now, I'm not going to talk scratchy plastics. I'm not going to talk how many bottles of water you can get in here. Let's talk basics. What do you actually get with this car? Well, one thing you don't get is you don't get anywhere to put any of those naughty magazines that you might be carrying around behind the driver's seat. But you do get one behind the passenger seat. Don't quite understand that because you wouldn't get much in there anyway. So another thing you do get are independent heating controls, but you can't change the temperature. You can only change the airflow and the direction, but that's good enough. We'll let them get away with that. The brilliant thing in the back here is you get 2 USBs. So those little brats that are sitting in here with their gizmos running out of power won't have to argue because they can both plug in there, one each. That's great. A very low transmission tunnel as well means it's extremely easy to slide across and sit yourself in the middle seat. And I'd say this middle seat is definitely big enough for an adult, not just for the kids. Going back to the kids again, you do get isofix points in here and rogue leaves that try and attack you while you're trying to film. You get double isofix points either side. In the centre, you get a nice armrest and a double cup holder. And to be honest, it is quite comfortable in here. I like that. What you don't get, you do not get the ski hole. So there's nowhere to put your skis if you're going on a ski holiday. And likewise, if you're popping down the local DIY centre, there's nowhere to put your 4x2 if you're picking up half a dozen of those. But I'm sure they'll go across the top here. And one thing I need to show you, I'm going to jump back out again, is the seats, the way they drop down, because they are really nicely shaped. And this comes down so easy. Both sides, so it's an 80-20 split. I like to call it that. I know a lot of people say, no, it's 60-40, it's 80-20. Look at the size of it. Get it right, guys. That goes back up nice and easy as well. The design of these seats, well, there's 4 different trim levels. So you've got the entry level, which is called the Icon, then you've got a Design, then an XL, and this is the top of the range where you get this fancy sort of striping. It's called the Dynamic. So it's all nice and easy to choose. Let's go and have a look under the bonnet because I want to show you a little bit about the engine. Here we are under the bonnet. Well, to be honest, it's not that good a looking engine. It's probably one of the ugliest engines I've ever noticed, but that's not really going to make any difference to how it performs when it's out on the road. The car's 220 brake horsepower. It's, as I said in the beginning, a 2.5 litre petrol engine that's married up to an electric motor. You can either get this in 2-wheel drive or you can get an all-wheel drive version. The all-wheel drive starts from around £34,000, and as I said in the beginning, from around £30,000 you can buy the 2-wheel drive version. The car will do 0 to 60 in around 8 seconds with a top speed of 112 miles an hour. All in all, it's a pretty compact little bit of kit. But what's it like up front? Let's go and have a look. Let's check it out up front and basically get out the wind because it's such a windy day today. I'm going to pull the door to. Sorry about the bang there. Right, well, first of all, what a pleasant place to sit. I mean, this is superbly engineered to the driver. I'll be honest with you, it's very, very comfortable. Well bolstered seats, real nice finish on all of this as well. As I said, I'm not going to go on about scratchy plastics and soft plastics. Someone else does that, and that really bores me now. I don't buy a car based on its plastic. Let's check the middle bit. Well, first of all, you get a nice little place to put your change. And what Toyota have done is really clever because this stuff here is quite sticky. So anything you put in there like keys or your mobile phone, I mean, it's everywhere. It's in the cup holders here, it's over here, it's also over here just above the glove box, and it makes it nice and easy to grab the door when you're closing it as well. So it's a really good use of that material. I don't even know what it is, but it's quite sticky. Change box there, inside, reasonable size glove box in the middle. You get another double USB, so you've got plenty of charging for both passenger and driver. We'll shut that down. Double cup holder, and it's a really nice big one, so we have tested it, I can assure you. Up here we get another place to put your mobile phone. Now, as we're talking about mobile phones, in this car there is no Android mirroring, and would you believe there's no Apple Play. In actual fact, there's nothing. All you can do is basically charge, and yet again there's another charger here at the front, and there's a 12-volt adapter here. I find that very strange that Toyota haven't added this. They have said within the next 12 months they will be adding that to the system. Seems a bit weird. Why wouldn't you do it in the first place? Okay, let's have a look around what we've actually got. Well, we do get this lovely big infotainment system up here. I will start the car in a second, but before we do that, I want you to notice these lovely big knobby dials there. They've got that sort of rubberoid thing around there. Now, I reckon they've copied this idea from Land Rover or Range Rover. When you've got gloves on and it's cold and you want to turn the heating on, this is great because they're nice and big and they've got this sort of rubber thing around them, so you can quite easily do it. And it's the same here on the drive selector. So here you've got the economy button, and if you go to the right you've got the sport button. Below it is the EV mode. So basically when you're in town, you're under 30 miles an hour, you're stuck in traffic, push that button and it will run totally on the battery, as long as there's enough charge in the battery. And at the front here is a trail button as well, and that trail button, when you've got the all-wheel drive car like I've got here, when you get off-road that will lock up the diffs and everything will run really good. When I haven't tried it off-road yet, I'd love to give one of these a go, see what happens. Anyway, that's another story. Electronic CVT gearbox, fantastic. Let's get this car started. Keyless ignition. there she goes, she'll start up. If there's enough charge in the battery, it will start on battery power. If it needs a little kick in, you'll hear the engine will kick in. So there we go. Lovely big infotainment system. Up here you've got your buttons nice and easily to navigate. The only thing I do find with this car is it's a little bit laggy when it comes to the sat-nav, when you're putting in your destination and things like that. There's your home screen, so we can choose all the bits and pieces. As I said, there's no Android mirroring, or no Apple mirroring, there's no Apple Play either. Very strange. Very easy to use heating control system. At the front here, very simple, on, hot, on, warm. It's quite simple, and off in the middle. There you go, the engine has just kicked in. Simple and easy to manipulate the steering in and out. Very mechanical. Lovely instrument cluster on this car. I really love that. We'll take a look at that when we film a little bit round from the other side. But it's very simple and it's just really nicely lit, the whole thing. I'm going to put that back to the menu, to the home screen. There we go. It looks a lot nicer and you can see what's going on there. So I was saying, with that sort of plasticky feeling that stops it, you get it again underneath here, which is just above the glove box, which is a reasonable size, and you get a reasonable manual with the car as well, which is also quite welcome. That's not bad at all. Steering wheel, it's round and it feels nice. That's about all I can say. On the right hand side we get the cruise control, we get the distance, and we get the mode button here as well, so you can move left and right through your radio stations, etc. On the left hand side we get the telephone button, because this does have a telephone system. It's got a Bluetooth system built into it. Got a volume button at the bottom there, and we've got a voice recognition system as well, so you can say your commands to it, whatever you want it to do, and it will do it. All in all, we need to get this car out on the road because it is superbly comfortable. But what is it like to drive? Let's go and do that now. Here we are out on the road in the RAV4, and it's a pretty good car. I quite enjoy driving this car. It's comfortable, it's quiet, but one of the things I've noticed most of all is the difference in the ride between this version and the old version. And the reason is because Toyota have developed a much longer wheelbase with this car. So I think it's taken a lot of the compression out of the suspension and out of the actual chassis itself. Without getting too technical, once you've got that longer suspension, that longer wheelbase between the two wheels, it does make the ride very, very different indeed. And I think when you take one of these out for a test drive, you really will notice the difference. Let's talk a little bit about the money side of this car. Well, as we said, entry level starts around 30,000, top of the range about 37,000. This one is top of the range, it's got all the bits and pieces on it you would expect. Without going into all the different trim levels and working out all the different prices and confusing you, let's just say that overall the car comes with a good 5-year 100,000 mile warranty. And don't forget, this is a hybrid car, so there is a battery in it, and that will come with a 15-year warranty as well, which is pretty good. Now, it's hybrid. You'd expect a decent economical drive out of this car. So in the economy mode, Toyota maintain 44 to 48. Now, as you know, manufacturers normally way over exaggerate their figures. On this occasion, I am very pleased to report that Toyota do not over exaggerate their figures. Their figures are almost spot on. I'm getting 41.5 at the moment, and I'm just on a normal sort of urban run. I'm not on any long distance run. This would easily do 44, 45 to the gallon, I can safely say. And I think that's a real pleasant change to actually hear a manufacturer that tells, doesn't lie, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. It's one of those cars that you'd expect from a 2.5 litre engine a lot less, especially a petrol one at that as well. Let's take a look at some of the safety features that you get as standard with this car. Well, you get blind spot mirrors, which I always go on about. I'm always saying how important the blind spot mirrors are. You get sign recognition. That's great for speed limits. It's great for camera detection on your sat nav as well. You get lane departure warning and lane departure assist on this. That comes in when you get your cruise control working, and you also have distance control on your cruise control as well. It's all singing and dancing this, I'm telling you. You get autonomous braking in town as well, so that's when small child or a cat or a dog runs out in front of you, your brain's not quick enough to put the brakes on, this thing will autonomously take over and brake for you. Toyota lead the field in that division. Trust me, it is an amazing system when it works, and it really is necessary sometimes. Also, you get high beam, low beam, dipping, auto dipping. Brilliant. Yet again, you know, when you've got 1,001 things to concentrate on, the last thing you want to worry about is turning your main beam off when the car's coming the other way. This will think for you and do it for you. Another thing which I said last week, if you're a regular viewer of the Player YouTube channel, last week I was saying that every week from now on, whenever we review a car, I'm going to tell you the costs associated to that car. So not the insurance and how much petrol you're going to put in, but the associated costs with things like services, with things like brakes, exhaust, tyres, you know, all the usual bits and pieces that you tend to sort of forget about when you're buying one of these cars. So you've just parted with £37,000, for example. Now, what's it going to cost to service this car annually? Well, a 10,000 mile service on this car is a very, very reasonable 190 UK pounds. Now, wherever you are, I think that will equate to your currency, because Toyota will keep that pretty much the same. Likewise with the parts and the tyres that I'm about to tell you about, they should all equate into your currency. So if you're in Australia, they'll be in your dollars, likewise in America, and so on around the world. So it should all be pretty much of a muchness. So I'm going to give you a couple of examples. Here we go. So you go in for a service, they say, sorry Mr. Smith, but your car needs a new set of front pads, brake pads. That's going to cost you, for this car, around about 50 UK pounds plus fitting. Don't forget, the rears are going to be about 40 UK pounds plus fitting. An exhaust, a full exhaust on this car, is 250 to 300 pounds, including the catalytic converter. It's not a bad price, but it's giving you an idea of what this car costs to actually run. On top of those costs, well, the main thing you're going to wear out, tyres. Pretty sure you're going to go for a set of tyres in its lifetime, in the lifetime you have it, even if you only have it for 2-3 years. I suggest you stick some Uniroyal rain tyres on the front, at least on the front. Amazing tyre. It's got a dual band on it, so on the inside of the tyre it displaces the water, and on the outside it's more of a road tyre. Very quiet, great grip, superb in the wet. One of the best tyres I've ever used in the wet. Not sponsored by them. Wish I was. Uniroyal, if you're watching, I'm happy for a bit of sponsorship. But honestly, I'd rather say to you guys from experience, that's the tyre I would choose if I was buying this car, and I'd put it on. And that they work out around about 85 to 100 UK pounds per tyre on a 17 or an 18-inch rim. So again, it's not masses of money, but these are the little things you need to know about when you're buying this car. For instance, there's another thing. You get a free electrical service. When you book in for your 10,000 mile service, you can have a free electrical service. So they'll check all the electrical motors and the battery and everything like that. It's absolutely brilliant, and I love Toyota for little things like that. Other companies would definitely charge. And speaking of other companies, what is the competition with the RAV4? Well, I reckon the Tiguan, Volkswagen Tiguan, and probably the Honda CR-V, definitely. That's just sort of same price bracket, same sort of size, you know, very in that bracket. But personally, you know, 44 to the gallon on a RAV4 with a 2.5 litre engine. And the other thing I love about this, you put this into sport mode, this thing is 220 brake. It flies. It will, you know, it will get you there. No problem at all. Might be a bit noisy. That's the only thing I've noticed. Speaking of noise, well, the sound system in here, it might not have Apple Play, it might not have Android mirroring, but it does have Bluetooth, so you can stream your Spotify straight from your phone into here, and it will sound absolutely brilliant. It is a stunning little system. I love the nav on this. It's a little bit laggy, but nevertheless, it's got me everywhere I wanted to go and more. You've been watching me, AJ the Player. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe and comment. I ask you that every week, if you wouldn't mind. And don't forget also, we are The Player. So The Player is down here, www.theplayer.co.uk. Go there, guys. It's a fantastic publication. It's free online. All you have to do is subscribe. It's so simple, and it's got cars, there's boats, there's everything on there. Everything that us guys love about life, even beer and wine. and golf and things like that, and all sorts of stuff, and interviews as well. I could keep going on and on and on. I won't do. I'm going to say goodbye now because I've got things to do. Next week we are away with our next car, and we're actually travelling across Europe with it, so it's going to be a hell of an adventure. I'm looking forward to that. Coming up next, if you watch the next video, it will be the classic car show, which we recorded last weekend in London. Fantastic, and we did some great interviews with the Ferrari Owners Club, BMW Owners Club, all things like that. Really worth watching that as well. And next week we're going to be going to the Geneva Motor Show, so I'll give you a full report on that as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Catch you next week, and don't forget, safe driving.